The question I am asked most often by kindergarten teachers these days is, how do I keep my class quiet? They won't stop talking. Sound familiar? I've been there too. Hi, I'm Amy Murray from Teaching Exceptional Kinders, and today I'm here to share my favorite tips and tricks on how to keep your kindergartners quiet. First things first, use visuals. It may not sound intuitive. They're talking. You don't want to add to the talking with your own noise. You don't want to be telling them to be quiet. So using a visual as simple as your level 0 poster from your voice level system. Or you could use look, listen, be quiet. Any of those would work. But you want to make sure that you are providing some visual supports for your students so they know what your expectations are without you adding to the noise and probably the chaos, right? So you can find these voice level posters in my TPT store on my website. I can link them below. I will also link the other YouTube video that I have that goes over these in depth, as well as carpet expectations and how to listen. Those posters can really help to establish those expectations and routines. And then these square cards are part of my picture direction card pack, and I will link that below too. There's tons of good stuff in there. But listen, when they're talking over you, you can simply just, and then eventually somebody will notice you stopped and you're holding up a sign that indicates you would like them to stop talking as well. Does this work all the time? No, but if you're not using visuals, it's a great place to start. All right, the other thing you're going to want to do if the whole class is having this issue, and a lot of times that's what happens, right? It snowballs and then everybody's talking all the time. You want to use whatever whole class incentive or behavior plan that you're using. You want to focus the behavior on being quiet. Either working quietly if it's an independent work time issue, or sitting quietly on the carpet, raising their hand, waiting to be called on could be a good goal, limiting those interruptions. That is what you want to focus on. So if you're using our build a reward charts, you can watch for kids who are demonstrating the quiet behavior that you want and have them add pieces to the chart. Then slowly but surely, kids should catch on and want to add pieces to the chart too. Sometimes that's not enough when the whole class is talking. Sometimes you'll have to be a little bit more specific. Giving out stickers, giving out those mini erasers. Do you have a ton of those mini erasers? So many that you don't know what to do with? From Target. You know what I'm talking about, the dollar spot? You probably do. Giving out a seasonal mini eraser at the end of a lesson or in the middle of a lesson when you're that frustrated with the talking to the kids who are working quietly. Works like a charm. The other thing you can do is those little Crayola markers. I think they're called emoji markers now, of course. But when I was a kid, they had like smileys on the end. We used a paw print one because we were the Bulldogs, and I could give them a little paw print on their hand because it's washable marker. That worked wonders. And as a last resort, you could try Skittles or M&Ms. I am not a fan of using food in the classroom. But sometimes a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do to get through to these kids. So whatever like little just sly reward you can give the kids who are doing what they're supposed to be doing to help the others catch on is sometimes helpful. All right, so you've got your visuals, you've got your whole class plan, and you're rewarding kids for doing what they're supposed to be doing, but you still now have a couple of kids who just cannot help themselves, right? Probably. So with those kiddos, you're going to need some sort of individual plan. I would encourage you to think about that individual student and how much impulse control that student may have or may not have before you decide what kind of behavior plan to use to help them to be quiet. Because if it's truly just an impulse that they are having trouble controlling, being punitive or punishing them isn't going to change the behavior, and it's probably just going to frustrate them. So you just want to be cognizant of those kinds of underlying factors that are at play. So you can use things like token boards, you can use sticker charts, you can use blurt beads where a kiddo gets a certain number, and if they blurt, then they lose them, and if they don't have enough at the end of the day, they don't get the reward. There's all different things like that. I've seen people do that with Unifix cubes. There's the word, the Unifix cubes. And they have, each kid starts with 3 cubes, and if they blurt, they lose a cube. And then if they have enough cubes at the end of the day, they get extra recess, or they get whatever it is that they've been working for. So those are options as well. You just want to be careful that you're not punishing a kiddo for something that they truly cannot control, even though it's annoying. All right, my bonus tip is this. I had a class one year. I adored them, but they couldn't stop talking to save their lives. All of them, collectively, pretty much. And no matter what I did, all the things that I mentioned today, nothing really worked. And so I noticed I needed to be more cognizant of when I was losing them. When were they starting the talking? When was it becoming a problem? And it was transitions. When we were moving from the carpet to their table spots, or from centers to line up, that's when they lost it. That's when they were the noisiest and the most problematic, because when they're noisy, then everybody's noisy. So we started to sing songs. So we would sing as we transitioned from one thing to another. And it was kind of a corny song, and I will share it with you, but no judgment on my singing voice or the quality of the song. Promise? So we would carry our toolkits and we would sing. We are kindergartners working quietly. Listen very closely, soon you will see. Kindergarten, kindergarten, 1, 2, 3. And then we would sing it again and again until we got through our transition. But if we had something purposeful to sing and do, then it limited the time for them to chat and get off task. So thinking about times that they are chatty and driving you crazy, and if you give them something specific to do or say or chant, doesn't have to be a song, instead, that may help to alleviate some of that frustration for you. Let me know if you give that a try in the comments. I'd be interested to see how it goes. I did not think that this class that we use the transition songs with would buy in. They loved them. And then we would make up different versions throughout the year. But just keeping it as simple as possible really helped, and it saved my sanity every time we had to transition somewhere. That does it for our How to Keep Them Quiet video today. The principles that I showed you throughout this video are linked down below. They are also all included in the great big classroom management bundle, where you'll find the behavior charts for the whole class, individuals, and all the classroom visuals you would need in your kindergarten classroom, all in one spot at a very discounted price. So that is linked for you below too. Please leave a comment, share your tips and tricks for keeping kindergartners quiet, as we are all in this together. All right, if you have any questions for me, please reach out. My email is amy@teachingexceptionalkinders.com. You can also find me on Instagram @teachingexceptionalkinders. Until next time, have an exceptional day.